On this episode of O'Fallon Matters, find out how you can help O'Fallon road crews during winter weather emergencies. Celebrate the completion of the I-70 road improvement project. Then learn a few tips that can prevent cold weather car thefts. All this and more next on O'Fallon Matters. Welcome to O'Fallon Matters. I'm your host, Joe Richter. This department provides useful, time-saving data and solutions that help city departments make smarter decisions. For our first story, we're going to learn more about the data experts of GIS.
O'Fallon's Geographic Information Systems Department is rooted in the science of geography. GIS integrates many types of data that helps our city grow and prosper. Kevin Kingery and his team work behind the scenes to create integrated solutions for their internal customers.
The other thing that we can our department creates and maintains maps and information for the city and for many departments throughout the city. Not only do we create maps for people to view information, but we also create maps to collect information for different departments and different individuals who may need to analyze or report on that information later down the road.
The thing I think is most exciting about GIS is that we solve problems. Departments will come to us and say we need to keep track of something or we need to know where something is while we're out in the field. And thanks to our maps or products that we're able to supply, they have that information at their fingertips. What's really great though is that every department has different problems, so the job never really gets boring.
The information contained within O'Fallon's GIS needs to be constantly updated to keep it useful for end users. Their basic functions are to make sure any changes to the city structure are reflected in the GIS map information. They also maintain the maps and map servers to keep things running smooth.
There are several different departments that as soon as our map goes offline, the phone's ringing because they depend on that thing every day to make sure they are able to get their inspections in there, that they're able to get the reporting on, because without that map they don't know where they've done their work, where they've been, and so it's really important to make sure that thing's up and running and that it's up to date, and that's what we try and provide for them.
There is always a need to know where things are located or what is happening with them. Whether it's a snow event in the dead of winter, helping with the Heritage and Freedom Fest in the summer, or anything in between, there is always a need for clear, accurate information to help things along.
Most people look at a map, they think of it as a static object. But nowadays with GPS and geo-event managing, we can actually keep track of things in real time. For example, we know where snowplow trucks are at all times. We know where trash trucks are at all times. We can also keep track of things like where snowplow trucks have been so that we know which routes have been finished and which streets have been finished. It's really a lot more of a dynamic information input than most people would think.
Without GIS, keeping track of where things are and whether they are in the city or a particular district would be next to impossible. The city isn't exactly a nice, neat square with no deviations around the edges. In fact, GIS created a GeoDoc scan document map for looking up file plans by location. This tool has done wonders for the planning department.
We built that to where all the documentation that got scanned into their system is associated to some place on the map. And so you can go into a map, click on a particular area, and then actually retain or retrieve all the documents out of Laserfish that pertain to that particular area, and be able to look those up, search those documents, and find what you're looking for. So that's been a big plus for that.
Kevin, Rob, and Cindy make it their mission to make the city run smoother, and they enjoy their roles within the city.
Before I started working in GIS, I didn't know anything about utilities. I didn't know anything about water and sewer and storm sewer, and I didn't understand how there were so many things that were underneath the ground that, that were a part of that system. And so working in GIS has taught me a lot about that. There's also other things like the trash truck situation. You know, they do a lot of things that we didn't understand that they needed to do, like report problems with trash, or if the cart is broken, that they can actually report that in and it needs to be replaced. And so there's just a lot of aspects of city that I had no idea even existed until I started working in GIS.
The people are excellent. It's a great environment to be a part of. Really, just like working for the city and the government, it's provided a lot of opportunity and a lot of opportunities to really learn new things and just to be a part of the leading edge of technology.
In the end, it's good to know that GIS creates maps that communicate, perform important analysis, share information, and solve complex problems for the residents of O'Fallon.
Thanks for that story, Joe. Ice or snow, no matter what's trying to cover our roads, O'Fallon's Streets Department always has the safety of our residents covered. Here's how you can help get our roads cleared even faster. Winter road conditions can change in a moment's notice, but by the time ice or snow actually hits the ground, O'Fallon's crews have already been long at work.
Today we're putting a level 1 together, anticipating about an inch of snow. So we'll have about 20 trucks out en route. They're fully equipped. Starting to load some trucks right now with salt to head out. And once this snow starts accumulating, or even ice, we are prepared for anything. We monitor all throughout the whole event. We'll send crews out once the snow starts coming down, as it is now. We already have guys out on the road pre-treating and getting ready for the storm. So once it hits, we're ready to clear the roads as quick as possible to make it safe for all the residents to get from point A to point B.
The best thing residents can do to help is to not park on the street when winter weather is in the forecast. That keeps plows moving much more efficiently. Parking on city streets during a winter weather event is a violation of municipal code and can result in fines and towing.
Just clear the roads of all your vehicles. If you have a basketball hoop that overhangs your driveway into the street, if you could put that down or push it back so the plows could get by, snowplow can't get through to clear that. In a decent event, we can get through our routes in about 3 to 5 hours. If we got to stop and always turn around and come back and skip certain areas because of trucks and vehicles, it will slow it down. So it'd be nice if you could just get your trucks and your vehicles off the streets, put them in your driveways, put them in your front yards, and allow the city to clear it correctly.
Next, even though you may be eager to clear your snow, it's best to wait until city plows have come through. However, if you just can't wait to get out there, please shovel your snow into your yard rather than the street, so that plows don't just push the snow back into your driveway.
So the process we do our arterials first, which are our main roads of like Bryan Road, Mexico, and then we move into the neighborhoods for the most congested main arteries of the neighborhoods, and then we spread out after that into the cul-de-sacs and every road that branches off into the neighborhood. Some roads are clear path only, they might be a county road, and you might wonder why we don't plow those roads. Obviously, they're not O'Fallon's roads. If it's O'Fallon Road, it will be plowed, but Highway K is not our road. It's a highway road. We use iPads and they track every truck where we've been. If a resident calls in, if you think your street has not been hit in a timely manner, we can check to see if the person has been down there, if they have treated where your house is. If they have not, they will be on their way.
Now here are a few tips on driving your own car more safely during a winter weather event.
Rule of thumb always is just slow down, try not to speed, try not to get over quickly. Let your tires grab traction. If you start to slide, pump your brake. Don't do any sudden movement because you'll start fishtailing and spinning. And just take your time out there, guys. Just be safe. Everybody wants to get home safe. If you have to travel with snow on the ground, just take your time. Nobody's in a hurry. Don't want to cause any accidents, and just move out of the way if the snow plows or trucks are coming. Let them clear your path and just follow right behind them. They're laying salt usually right behind you, and it's gonna be a lot easier for you. Just remember, we're out there, we're trying our best. We are looking out for the safety of all the residents. We have our full force, everybody is on board, and just try to keep the roads clear so we can get down and get it done in a timely fashion.
Getting around North O'Fallon is now easier than ever, thanks to the completion of a vital road project. Let's celebrate the accomplishment. Joe Meyer has more.
The I-70 Traffic Flow Improvements Project Phase 1 is now completed. The goal of the project from its inception was to alleviate traffic congestion on Highway K and the Main Street intersection. Phase 1 was fully funded with a combination of County Road Board, MoDOT, and federal dollars from East West Gateway. And recently elected officials and staff gathered for a ribbon cutting to celebrate the completion of Phase 1.
The new one-way outer roads and widened I-70 underpass already have improved safety and traffic flow. We've opened up prime commercial real estate, offering us new economic development opportunities. This project is unique to our region, and first we added a completely new south outer road while converting East Terra into a one-way road with slip ramps on and off the highway. We've also added a 10-foot path underneath for allowing safe pedestrian access to downtown for the very first time. But what makes it unique is this first corridor in our region to incorporate one-way outer roads combined with the Texas U-turns, allowing free flow of traffic in both directions. Without this innovative addition, I don't think this project would ever got off the ground.
The hard lifting for us was getting the money for you, but the tough job was getting this thing built, and I'm glad that was entirely up to you and not up to us. Because, getting the money is one thing, but getting it done, and I know it's been a challenge for you. I again want to thank you for your great leadership, thank your council for their support, and what's the next project we're going to do in O'Fallon?
Phase 2.
All right.
O'Fallon's entire team was honored for their accomplishments on Phase 1. The American Public Works Association named the I-70 Corridor project as its Project of the Year in Transportation. They awarded everyone involved in the project for excellence in managing to completion.
The interchange looks terrific. The other night, coming up for a city meeting, driving through the interchange, seeing the lights on, the decorative lights that we have there shining on the underpass areas there. It's really pretty. Even driving through the day, the stained concrete that we added on really looks nice. It is really nice to see that project finally done. I mean, that has been a $17 million plus endeavor that we have worked tirelessly on, and to finally see it done and working is a very nice self-reward.
Progress is right around the corner on the next phase of this multi-million-dollar project. Don't forget to stay up to date on the I-70 Traffic Flow Improvements Project's Phase 2 by watching future episodes of O'Fallon Matters. This is just one of the many projects that are helping to renew O'Fallon.
The City of O'Fallon now offers container services that can help you get rid of that unwanted junk. Here are the details.
This is something that residents have been asking for, and now we're going to be able to provide it at an exceptional value to the residents. These containers are large. They're used for projects like maybe you're tearing down your deck and you want to put all that in there. You're cleaning out the basement, cleaning out the garage. There's so many things that you can do with this project. You're remodeling a bathroom. So all that stuff can be done. The only thing you want to keep in mind is there are some items that can't go in these containers. Appliances of any kind can't go in the containers. We do have a service that you can call us and get that information. We can get rid of those for free for you. But they can't go in the container. Nothing hazardous can go in the containers. So it's the same kind of thing rules you would have for your waste outside at the curb. The containers that we're offering right now, size-wise, we're offering a 10-yard, a 20-yard, and a 30-yard. There is 40 yards available, but we don't have enough of them right now to make that offer, and those wouldn't really be very good for a residential use. They're too tall. The cost to get these containers is also a simple situation. It's $325. Doesn't matter what size container you want. We'll give you any of the sizes you want for $325, and you get up to 4 tons of material that you can put in that before there's an extra cost. You also get up to 7 days that there's no additional cost. So for that total $325, you can have the container delivered, kept for 7 days, 4 tons of trash, and we'll come get it. We do offer containers, the same containers for yard waste, but the stipulation is it has to be yard waste only. You can't mix anything else in with it or we wouldn't be able to dump it. Those containers, then the cost is a little different. It would be $205 per load, and then you're up to, you can put anything in it, and it costs $6 per yard for that disposal. Residents can call at any time to order these containers. A one-day notice is probably all we need, and we can get it out to your house at any time. We do deliver these Tuesday through Friday only, and that's how the service will work.
Reserve your container today by calling 636-272-0477. For additional information, visit us at ofallon.mo.us.
Don't let your guard down during the cold winter months. Keep yourself and your car safe by following a few common sense tips.
During the winter months, we may be tempted to leave our vehicles running in an attempt to warm up the inside prior to getting behind the wheel. I mean, it's freezing. Who could blame us, right? Now, here is Sergeant Jeff Cook from the O'Fallon PD with some important information on how to stop warm-up thefts.
The winter months are probably some of the toughest when it comes to the morning routine. As difficult or as unpleasant as it might be, going out and warming that car up and leaving it idle in the driveway or on the street or some other location where you can't see it or be in constant contact with it is really just not a safe move on a resident's part. That convenience can quickly turn into a significant inconvenience if you go back out and your vehicle's not there. You may just want to try to build that extra 5 minutes on even on the alarm clock. If you can give yourself that extra 5 minutes in the morning to get yourself prepared, go out to the car a few minutes early, get it warmed up while you're sitting in it, and just deal with the cold for a couple of minutes, it really is the safest thing. The theft of vehicles that are left running is a crime of opportunity. The person that's going to take your car may not have planned for doing it either, but sometimes that temptation is obviously too great for someone. We've seen in our area throughout the local news and the media in general the multiple car thefts that have taken place. Again, this is one of those things where the crime of opportunity can be prevented by just not creating the situation. The other biggest location that we see in our area, and specifically throughout the St. Louis metro area, is gas stations, convenience stores, and businesses like that. Again, that temptation or that convenience of leaving your car running to try to keep it getting warmer as you go in for a cup of coffee or your morning soda, whatever it might be, is again preventable by just taking that extra 5 or 10 seconds, shutting the car off, locking the doors, running inside, and coming back out. Your car's really not going to get that much colder or that much warmer in the short time that you're inside the convenience store. One of the other big challenges on these cold mornings is trying to take care of your kids. And I realize that taking them out to a warm car makes it a much nicer journey for wherever you're heading to, off to school, off to daycare, or some other location where your children might be for the day. And I realize warming up the car in advance is helpful, but if you don't have the ability to do that safely with a remote starter or some other type of feature, getting into the car with the kids, bundling them up a little bit more, throwing a blanket on them, and sitting there while your car warms up is still the best way to take care of your kids.
In the winter months, lock it or lose it doesn't mean losing a few valuables. It could mean losing your whole car. Please, just lock your car and save yourself the headache. It only takes a few extra minutes to secure your car and valuables. That way, the rest of your day can go as planned.
O'Fallon has a rich history, and that storied history is well preserved right here in our city. Find out how you can volunteer to help preserve our history.
Here in O'Fallon, you don't need a time machine to revisit our history. The O'Fallon Historical Society has an archive of photographs, documents, and other artifacts that will take you back through our city's heritage.
Right now, our collection, over and above all the artifacts that we've gathered, consists of somewhere between 3,000 and 4,000 images and somewhere around 600 documents pertaining to the city, the fire department, and other organizations. Most of our images have been digitized, mostly because the originals are not part of our collection. People have loaned them to us, and we've given them right back, and that's worked beautifully. One of the things we're most proud of is the fact that all the artifacts and furnishings that are in the Log Cabin Museum are actually related to O'Fallon. They're from O'Fallon. They're not just a period piece from somewhere else. And so when you come into the log cabin, you are really seeing O'Fallon's history, all the way from the bathtub that the Sisters of the Most Precious Blood donated that they brought here from Switzerland, to hair dryers, to the band uniform that our first mayor wore when he organized the community band. So everything here is O'Fallon.
The last 20 years, Pat has dedicated her time in collecting and preserving our city's history, but there is still more to be discovered.
Our next step really is to bring in people who are keeping the images and so forth from the 1960s on. I understand there's a really active Facebook community, and that's great. But we'd really love them to share those images from, say, 1950 on, really, so that we can bring our collection up to date and make it more complete.
The O'Fallon Historical Society is always looking for new members, and everyone is welcome to join.
You know, people tell us that the society word is the wrong word to use. Sounds like a bunch of little old ladies having tea. Well, you know, we're not quite there. But we would welcome younger members. I know that most families now their schedules are kid-centric, and I understand that. But if they can tell us how they'd like to participate, or what kind of meetings they'd rather attend. Do they just want to hear lectures or see photo exhibits or whatever? We'd love to change ourselves to suit them. We're happy to do that. We just want to get more people involved and eventually, quite literally, hand the torch to them.
I've been a member since 1999, 20 plus years. Started out basically just enjoying the company of the residents here who had been here the generation previous. As I became involved with my wife, we've had great times here. We've had wonderful events out here in the park and Civic Park over the years, and a lot of enjoyment with people coming in and taking the tours and seeing the historical aspects of O'Fallon. One thing that I wanted also to expand on is the importance of your family with their history. I'm a grandfather now, and that is vitally important for my children and my grandchildren to understand where they came from and the history of where they live. One thing, back in 2006, which was a sesquicentennial, which was 150 years, I just had a young granddaughter. And I'm not going to see a bicentennial of the city of O'Fallon, but my granddaughter will. My granddaughters are going to be here. I want them to be involved also. And I would like for other granddaughters and great-granddaughters to be involved, and grandsons to be involved with O'Fallon's history, because it's vitally important to keep those lines alive.
To find out how to become a member or to share your personal history, contact the O'Fallon Historical Society via their website at o'fallonmohistory.com.
Thanks for joining us today. If you have a good story idea, let us know. Email us at OFallonTV@o'fallon.mo.us. Now take care, and remember that O'Fallon matters to us all.